Welcome back. Welcome back. It's it's a lovely morning to give opinions, and the best thing you can say is good morning. How are you? Remember to give us your insight on the depths of opinion, both the popular and the unpopular, right here on the Morning Drift. Keep the hashtag the Morning Drift. If you like, also you can hashtag the depths of opinion right here. I am joined in by Ann Kitilesi and of course General Vini, who are shaping for us the conversation on opinion. Remember, your opinion matters. And before we went for a break, I had mentioned something on education, but allow us to also ask the question on, is it a must that I should go to school? And yes, I have the skills, I have everything, I'm very okay, but is it a must for me to go to school so that I can get these particular opportunities? And there are many opportunities that you get denied because you haven't gone to school, but indeed the skill is very fine. I'd like to start with Vini to shape for us that particular area. Is it a must? So many youths are crying out there, they need job, they need opportunity, but digging down deeper, we tend to understand that they don't have, the point of, education and other things. Do you think that it is a must for a youth or any other person to go to school so that can receive these opportunities?
The problem with our current education system is that it focuses so much on memorization of information rather than providing the learner with some skills that are necessary. We focus so much on how to, what you need to do is just to get that knowledge, but then are there skills there? So we really need to, for me, I'd say with the current, the world is going technological, I'm particularly still in, I'm in my university yet, and I'm doing my degree, but is it going to be of essence to the coming generations to follow my suit? What we are having, the new education system that we are now having, the teachers, the junior secondary school teachers are actually on strike because they feel like they're not of value. The government doesn't recognize their work, and they've gone through the same training just like other teachers. What the current education system that we're having, the junior secondary schools, I really support it because it provides the learner with the necessary skills, not only to memorize the information and everything, but it also provides the learner with the particular skills, in the sense that after you're done with your junior secondary school, you need to join, you need to proceed to another level. But before then, you'll have some skills. I particularly have a brother who is in the junior secondary schools, but that kid can make something until ujiulize how did he did this, and that is that is what you want, and that is how it should be. So let us not just focus on how to memorize information. You just want to give them that knowledge. Let us accompany skills into that. And the world is going technological. We're having people doing we're having the online platforms. We're having young youths engaging on the forex stuffs. We're having people doing the online writing. There are skills that can be acquired by the we can accompany them in our degree, so that it adds value in our degree, so that after tumemaliza shule we don't complain or start saying that there are no jobs in the country. Just like Anne said, that there are opportunities, there are problems that need to be solved, and the only right persons to solve that are these people in these people holding these certificates. But the problem is they cannot solve it. Why? Because they lack the necessary skills. So let us accompany skills in our education system.
Wow, skills, and that is why the competence-based curriculum is coming on board, right? But Anne, do you think there is an unpopular opinion in terms of how we view education in the country?
Yes, I think for us, we have moved to a level whereby we take everything that is brought to us, and this comes from the aspect of our education system majorly is something that was developed based on what is happening globally. We were supposed to sit back as Kenyans and also as Africans and ask ourselves, how did we use to pass information from one generation to the other? And how that was done, information was passed on by people who are well informed in the society. They may not have had formal training the way we have our teachers formally trained to provide supervision in schools, but they used to pass that information. What we never did is that people never documented our information. So all our traditional information, we forgotten it, it is lost. So when you look at our textbooks, most of the examples you'll find in these textbooks, they are of inventors, scientists from other continents. Really, does that mean that we never had breathtaking innovations in Africa? Yes, we did. It's just that this information has been forgotten, and we tend to look so much outwardly rather than looking inside on what we have. In terms of skills, for me, I believe that a good education system should not just be theoretical, whereby it's just teaching and people have the papers. It's about also the skills and teaching people to be able to think outside the box, so that it's not just a matter of getting a job. It's a matter of how do I start solving these challenges. And when we adapt that approach of, even if it is grade 1, what are those small problems that children can solve at that level? Then you enable the children, you give them the resources that they need to be able to solve those challenges. Grade 2, all the way to even grade 9, let's ensure that we are creating, we are exposing students to scenarios that create problems, and then we allow them to solve. That is the only way. When they complete their school, they will look at the world and they will look at what are those challenges that are there that we need to solve. Because I always say that we, as human beings, we were born to live a good life. All of us.
Indeed.
We need to live a good life. There is no point of some people living in slums, some people struggling to put bread on the table, where else others are making it. So that shows that we have a lot of opportunities to bring everybody on board, so that everybody is able to have that bread on the table without having to struggle so hard.
Do you think will there be respect in between as far as balance is concerned, where everyone now is able to, to get to that point?
Yes. And for me, I strongly believe it is possible for us to get to that point. I know things are moving at a very slow pace, but right now things are really moving faster when it comes to acquiring and getting results out of anything. And it just requires a mindset and a focus to ensuring that whatever opportunities that I'm gonna create, it is something that is gonna benefit everybody. It is possible because most of the time we've been told resources are scarce. Resources are not scarce. It's only that a few people want to have all these resources and leaving the rest with nothing.
Indeed.
Right now, when you look at the statistics, between 1 to 10% of the world's population is the one that is owning 90% of the world's wealth. What does that mean? It means that we only have now 10% to be owned by the 90% of the population. So that is where some of these challenges are actually coming from. But if it is about everybody else, everybody right now could be living in a decent home, everybody could be accessing clean water and sanitation, everybody could be accessing education free of charge. And actually that is where my unpopular opinion is.
How?
Education should be free of charge. From basic education all the way to at least your first diploma, your first certificate, or your first degree. Why do I say that? It's because when you empower a human being with knowledge and then you guide them on how to convert that knowledge into an opportunity, giving them the right skill set, this person will not just hold back and say there are no jobs. They will look for something to do and create something, a product, a service that they can sell in the society. And that is how we can build each other. But we are unable to solve poverty because we have commoditized education.
Indeed.
Anybody who has money can access education. But those who do not have money, what happens to them?
Stay at home.
They stay at home. And surprisingly, they are the majority. And they're the ones who they are easily manipulated. When a politician calls for, their campaign rallies, it's easier for them to go and attend. But if you are gainfully employed, tell me where you're going to get time to go and attend that. Just look at the people who attend. They are the jobless people.
Indeed.
Anytime you look at people who actually go on the streets to, support politicians and demonstration, you find that these people are jobless. But if these people who are gainfully employed somewhere else, they will be adding productivity into the economy. And that is where we go. We are losing it. We cannot end poverty if we are not opening the doors to education, if we are not giving the right skill sets to our students to be able now to turn that information or knowledge into opportunities. So that is my unpopular opinion. Education needs to be free. And it has a lot of benefit to our society than even trying to, for example, build roads for people.
Indeed.
If you let them access education, they will be the ones who will be building those roads. They will be the ones knowing where do we get the resources to build the roads. So we will not even struggle too much trying to build infrastructure, trying to solve, healthcare challenges. Right now, if you are gainfully employed, you can access healthcare.
Indeed.
You can build your own home. We will not even be talking about national housing. It will be something that everybody can afford. So it is important for us to ensure that education is free so that everybody has the skill sets to be able to create opportunities for themselves and solve the challenges that are facing humanity. And that is the only way we will be able to solve poverty in the country, so that we remove this cyclical and exploitation of the jobless.
Very powerful. Of course, General is looking at you in a design, of course, thinking of how much he's spent on his career and degree as well. I don't know, is the same view, education should be decommoditized?
When Anne is talking of free education, it's funny in a way, at the same time it's painful, because the real situation that is happening is that we don't have any free education. Instead, it's in fact even getting more expensive. Let me just take a scenario. When I joined campus, I used to pay a particular amount, ranging. It wasn't more than 20,000 for my career. For a semester, it was around 20K, in that range. But now, when in my second year, in my third year, there are some students, or there's some lots who joined later. And now, when I was asking them, please provide me their fee structure, the figures that I saw was so I couldn't imagine that that is the real figures. A student is required to pay almost 120,000 for your fee. Will a common mwananchi afford the free education? Now, are we really going to? Are we going to make the education free, or we are getting the situation worse? Is it, are we going to de-economize it, or it is getting worse daily? Because if I used to pay 17,000 for my fee, and now there's a student who is required to pay almost 120,000, where are we headed as a nation? If instead of lying to us in the public medias and everybody, talking of the free education, even if you go to different institutions, and this is the situation, you people, the media, you can do that as well. You can go and ask the different institutions how much they provide you their fee structure. This is something that a normal parent will never. Yule mwananchi ambaye kukule nyumbani kazi yake ni kulima, the focus is on farming. They can never afford this amount of fees. Kuna mtu ambaye kwa nyumbani, he has a kid who has excelled to join an institution of higher learning.
Indeed.
But when you provided the fee structure, the figures are very heartbreaking. You cannot afford to pay your 120,000. Instead of taking that 120,000, give your son anzishe biashara, endeleze maisha. So what's the essence of education?
I feel like people are suffering.
They're suffering. And I don't see the essence of, for me particularly, I'd advise, and I'll stand with the essence. It is losing value in our nation, and that is the truth. People are graduating with no jobs, and you spend your 4 years in campus, you spend your 4 years in high school, 8 years in that was the A44 by then, and then after graduating you start tarmacking. There are no jobs there.
Because I'm thinking of how the institutions will survive if the education is free, but I believe you had a comment on the same?
Yes, the reason why I'm advocating for free education, it's because, as Generali had just mentioned, you find that we have very bright students who could be the ones that are coming up with a solution. For example, they will be able to start manufacturing, let's say, drugs, so that we don't continuously import drugs from India. So because this parent cannot afford, that kid is given an alternative, which will not probably allow that kid to become, you know, a pharmacist or somebody who can innovate something that can really help the society. But look at it this way. I'm going to give you an example how education can be funded. When I was in, throughout my schooling journey, I don't think I spent more than $1 million shillings. This is from when I started schooling all the way to campus.
From baby class. From
baby class all the way to campus. I've been trying to look at the exact figure, but I know it doesn't go above 1 million Kenya shillings.
Wow.
Now, when I started working, my taxes, the first year, it was $500,000.
$500,000.
The second year, another $500,000.
2 million.
2 million.
Yeah.
So imagine, in just 2 years, if the government had paid my school fees, that 1 million, for me to go through school so that my parents do not have to pay anything. In just 2 years, they will already have taxed me. And
Indeed.
then, remember, I will be working for example, my 34 years or plus.
You're right.
Can you imagine the amount of tax the government can collect from me just because they allowed me to have that free education? So you can imagine if the 20 million of maybe our young people who cannot access education are given that opportunity. We pay for their school fees. And then we give them the correct training, which we said it has to be skill-based, and then the education or knowledge that ensures it empowers somebody to be able to not just sit there and wait and complain there are no jobs, but somebody thinks critically, what can I do using this knowledge to create a good or a service that is going to address the problems in our society?
Indeed.
If we get to that level, can you imagine we'll not have to increase the taxes right now because we will have scaled up our tax base, because everybody will be paying taxes.
You're right.
And just in matter of maybe 1 to 5 years, whatever the government has invested in these people, it's going to recoup it in 5 years, and then the rest of the time they'll be working. It is just taxes to do what? Development. So that is how, for me, I think education can be free and it can be funded, and there is a lot for everybody to gain. In fact, if the government can just provide quality education, I'm telling you that we are going to solve most of the challenges that we're facing today.
Of course, and I have no problem, because to believe that you taking the ship on a sustainability consultant, you know, of course, the president will have to listen to these opinions from Ann Kitelesi. They're really impactful on the same, and even as we measure this conversation, education free, what are the aspects of education, what is your opinion on education? So many people are learned, but they don't have jobs, and that's a crisis in the country. But I think we've covered so much on the structure of employment as far as education is concerned, but I want us to shift gears on now the effect on religion as to our opinion. There is a concern, of course, we are used as slaves in church, and religion now is becoming a room for, you know, kutafuta pesa. When we listen to this particular conversation on religion, I just want to feel our idea and our feeling on religion. Are we bounded in slavery? What do you think?
Okay, I think I will go first.
All right.
I also have very strong opinions around religion. Personally, I'm a Catholic, so I'm a Christian. But when I try to look at how religion works, to me, to my understanding, is that religion is there, it's actually dividing us more than it should bring us together. Because when you look at the different religions, we're praying to almost the same God, just that we have different names for this God. So if it is the same God, how come we are divided? We have different doctrines, different ways on how we perceive and believe things. And to me, I will rather have people moving to spirituality than religion.
Indeed.
Why spirituality? It's very universal. It makes me not to look at you as a person from another religion, or it doesn't make me even exploit you or use religion as an opportunity to either enrich a few people or enrich myself.
Indeed.
It is spirituality is whereby you are in harmony with everyone and everything. You're in harmony with human beings, in harmony with the animals, you're in harmony with the vegetation, the environment, and everything else. And that is, I think, where God wants us to be. Being harmony, being one, in unity with each and everything. And then religion should actually help people to attain their own mandates in life. It should not be something that is used to maybe extort or get resources from people. When you look at how we even give or how we are usually compelled to give in different churches, you find that there is always that push. Give so that you can receive a miracle.
Indeed.
Give so that you will be blessed.
There's so many people that are giving are not wealthy enough, are not the poor.
Exactly, and when you look at the people who are being asked to give, of course, are the ones they don't have anything, and then the ones who are given, they're the ones that stay in places like Karen.
Indeed.
They're the ones that are driving the large, huge vehicles. They're the ones that stay in good houses. So. That beats the logic. Why do we have a religion whereby this religion is exploiting those who do not have, rather than taking from those who have to support those who do not have?
Indeed. In exploitation, of course, you have the aspect on you receive the faith, I receive the wealth, then we move forward. No, I just wanted to listen to what Vinny has to say, because when we started the conversation, we had a point on there's so many people that are suffering, and generally a view is taken. There's so many people that are suffering have based their their opinions, and they are directed into the faith and in the churches. So you realize that the same way Anna's mentioned, that there's someone living in Runda and there's someone living in Sokomoko. But now to get to the point of understanding that this person is in-depthly into religion and into a particular faith, that maybe the bishop is saying that you don't need to work, serve Jesus and then move forward.
That never works. I want to relate religion to work. Some people wake up on a daily basis from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to around 4 p.m. working. And then they, in their 30 to 40 years of work, they end up retiring. But you know what? Not everybody is hyper-ambitious, Silicon Valley trailblazer. Not everyone will do that. So when you want to relate religion, nowadays we use religion as a form. It's an employment opportunity. When you are a bishop and you're a pastor who can really, you have some sweet words to to easily talk to your members, and they easily get perceived by your words. You'll find yourself earning. And people are nowadays using religion as a form of getting money. So it's even lacking essence at the same time. So for me, Anne said that we should be more spiritual than being religious. It's almost the same thing, because a pastor will tell you that serve God and don't go to work. Will that bring food on the table? God helps those who help themselves. So if I worship to God, and I also pray to God as well, if I worship in the morning, afternoon, and evening, how will I get my food on the table? How?
Hey, very tough, yes.
So just to maybe bring out another perspective around that, is that worshiping God is paramount, and it's important, it's critical, and you can worship God every second, even right now. Right. If you want, you can talk. I can say something to God even silently. So what I think we need to move away from is the belief that just prayers alone are gonna give us the miracles that people want in their lives. It's about also putting in the work. Pray in the morning, leave your house, go out there and work hard. Do your best to ensure that you are going to get a reward out of it. But in the process of you working, ensure that God is in everything that you're doing. Why? Because if I don't put God in whatever I do, I'm the first person when I reach the office, I'm going to start stressing everybody else. I'm the person who will start asking for kickbacks for me just to approve or sign something. But if God is in everything, then it means that when I need to make a decision, I refer to what? That manuscript. What does God say?
Indeed.
I need to serve people. I am in this position to serve. So let me do my work. I don't need to be given a kickback for me to do my service. And you say, why I say spirituality, it's because spirituality is boundarless. It's borderless. So you find that I'm not religion. Most of the time people believe it's about going to church, going to the mosque, or going to worship, and then they forget everything once they leave that door. But spirituality carries with you. It is borderless. When I go to work, I still have my God in it.
Right.
When I go to the farm, when I go to the market, when I go to school, I still have God in me. So all the actions I will be taking throughout the day, they are informed by the Spirit of God.
All right, thank you, Anne. Health and life. There is a position where you visit a hospital or you go to check on someone, then you start uttering words that are piercing, you know, that hata heri tumwache tu akufe because the bill is getting too big. What is your opinion as far as health is concerned when you also realize when you go to a particular place where there is a funeral, then you need to be very careful on how, not only giving your opinion, but also on how you respond to things, your reactions, you know, your behavior as well. What is your take on the same, even as we get now to understand the popular and the unpopular to the bottom line of this conversation?
Relating health with opinions for me is a no. And this is something that you know, when you're talking of health, it's never unpredictable. Now when you go to an hospital and someone was for instance by bad luck was engaged in an accident, and you want to go there and the bill is almost you know, multiplying your salary by 10. You don't know where you will get this thing, and you're just someone who is in town, you know, hustling by your own means. Alafu unaenda kule unaambiwa you need to pay a bill of 800,000 or 1 million, you know, and then you start questioning yourself, see, we better just leave this guy to live in peace, you know. So I don't really want to relate health with opinions. That is something that health is, it also an individual, you know, there are certain things that can be prevented, but there are certain things that we can never avoid, you know. So there are certain things that as people and as a nation and as citizens we can avoid them, but at the same time there are certain things that are unpredictable. They come anytime without any notice, and then they haunt us, you know, without any notice. We can never avoid such. So for me, when I want to relate health with my opinion, that I leave to the individuals, you know, and you just take care of yourself, and you mind yourself as well.
Ann, si nilijua tunayo tabia yake, he couldn't have survived. Hata ni vizuri he is dead. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I think that are comments that lose human touch, because you know, health is part of living. If you are alive, then you are healthy.
Indeed.
You are good. If you are alive and then you're not healthy, again, that is also a problem. And so the two are interrelated. So when you're talking about somebody's health, you're actually talking about the life of that person.
Indeed.
And at times, it could be very frustrating to hear people make comments that actually kill the person, because when they hear about such a comment or such an opinion, yeah, they actually give up. And something about we human beings is that whatever we perceive usually actually becomes true.
Indeed.
So if somebody speaks to you negative words, they are going to actually kill you. Even if you are not suffering too much, you are not, your health condition was good, you find that it actually deteriorates, and you'll find that such a person will just even pass away.
Indeed.
But if you encourage this person and you give them, you know, good affirmation, you find that even somebody who was critically sick, they actually recover. And so also it's a matter of health is also spiritual in a way, because it's something that is actually controlled by God.
Indeed.
That is why somebody can go to the hospital, they were critically sick, but they recover. Everybody said this person is gonna die. Huyo hatuoni. Ni hata hatuoni kama hata hatujampatia siku mbili. Tuacha tu tuachane na yeye. But what happens? After those 3 days, this person recuperates, they survive, and they become you know, a living example of this kind of miracles. So you cannot have opinions that actually diminish the value of a human being, especially when they need to be encouraged the most, and that is when you are, you know, when somebody is sick. Yeah.
All right. Do you think that the dumb can give opinions? Do you think?
Yes, opinion. The nobody is limited to give the opinions. They can as well give the opinions on everything. They can as well make us understand what they want, and they can as well communicate their grievances out. So they can. Yes.
Wow. What is your view on the same? Do you think the dumb can give opinions?
Who is a dumb person? So this is what I believe. All of us, there is something that we have that can actually add value. Even the mad person you will see on the street, there is something you can learn from that person.
Indeed.
If you see most of the mad people who walk around, they're always walking picking. Water bottles, you know, plastic and everything. What are they doing, by the way? That is the question I always ask myself.
Indeed.
Why are they picking this waste and they put it in a sack and they carry it? Probably they're communicating to us who think we are normal. They're telling us, look, people, you are sick.
You're
because you say you are normal, yet you are I'm the one who is going to roll down the window of the car and throw a bottle. I am normal, but yet I'm the one who's going to throw away the banana peels on the street.
You're
so
right.
for me, I think there is always an opportunity to learn from each one. A child or an old person, a mad person or a straight normal person, and I don't think there is a dumb person. There is always some value in every human being, and we can learn a lot from this kind of people that we might say that dumb.
All right. Everyone can give opinion. Everyone is able to speak, but the span of that particular opinion matters a lot, and that is why we are engaging now a sustainability point of view, where how long will we hold what you said maybe 5 years ago or just a few minutes ago? How can we hold that? If it was piercing, if it was very appeasing, if it was normal, how long can we hold that on the sustainability, even as we dig now deeper to depth of opinion? What do you think, Sir Generali? Do you think that we can hold too long opinions that are piercing, or we can hold too long opinions that are very very nice to us?
It depends with the response that you get when you give your opinion. You know, the first response that you when for me, when as a student leader, when I give my opinion to my DVC, to my VC, to my Dean of Students, or to the Ministry of Education, their first response matters a lot. Now when I want to also that was my first opinion. The response that they'll give to me matters a lot on the second opinion that I'll give out. So when you give out your opinion and you find the response is you know, it's not good, you'll obviously keep the other one. So our responses to our agencies, and not even the agencies or anybody or anything, be it a workplace, be it our institutions of you know, places of work, institutions of learning, anywhere that we give our opinions, the responses matters a lot on the individuals, so that they'll keep the opinions to themselves. Because a friend of mine said that I don't want to be there, it will sound so bad, but opinions are it's something that you also hold it by it on you. You decide whether you want to give it out or you keep it to yourself. When you want to keep it to yourself, well and good. When you want to make your grievances and your opinions well known, it's still okay with you. Indeed. So the first response that you get when you give out your opinion matters a lot, whether you'll keep the second you know, the second opinion or a number of opinions that you had in mind. So to anybody or to our institutions or to our leaders, you know, places of work, our employers, how they respond to the employees and how they respond to the you know, to us who have the opinions matters a lot. For us to get the services improved in any sector, be it in sector of governance, be it in places of work, anywhere, the response matters a lot to people who give out opinions.
Well stated, Generally. Thank you so much. And I want you to understand now the sustainability part, of course, even as you to help us understand climate change, which has been a focus in the country. And of course, we've seen the effect of climate change. In the next few minutes, we will be completing this particular session. But help us understand the point on the sustainability in terms of opinion. But also, before you get to that, give us an understanding on climate change as well as the focus on the unpopular opinion.
Okay. If you allow me, I will start with the first, with the first area, just to look at the sustainability of our opinions. To me, I believe, as I had even stated earlier, before you say something, do an assessment.
Indeed.
Does this hold true? Am I convinced at my personal level? Now, if I am convinced, let me look at the circle of my network. Let me share with them that opinion. Will it hold? Do they believe in it? If they do, then you can move on to the next level. But the most important is having your self-conviction. Right now, let me give you a very valid example. Right now, we are here enjoying these slides because there is somebody who had an unpopular opinion at that time when people were just inventing electricity. Electricity used to be direct current, DC electricity. And that is what Thomas Edison was selling and promoting. And even the people who were financing electricity at that time, they just wanted to finance DC current. But now we have a man who thinks this is now somebody who comes up and says, no, we can actually have better electricity, the alternating current, and that is what we've been using all this time.
Indeed.
People say that, no, it cannot happen, it can't work, it is not true. But for him, because he was very convinced, he went ahead and he invented alternating current.
Right.
And that is what we are using globally.
Indeed.
So as opinion, first of all, do the assessment, have that self-conviction, and it's gonna be, if you are convinced and you are also willing to put in the hours, the work, the effort, it's gonna be sustainable.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, so the view on, of course, you wrote the unpopular opinion, and because we're winding up, I would like you to tell us what's the future of opinions in the country as we speak looking like?
Of course, right now, because of technology and access to social media, you find that all the 50 million of us, we have our own opinions.
Everyone.
And so everybody will be throwing
Even
their
kids.
opinions. Even yes, and we should allow them to have these opinions.
Indeed.
But what we need to do is that to ensure that everybody is able to share their opinion, but then how do we filter these opinions up to a level whereby we can get now the best opinions and then have a long-term plan around these opinions so that it can shape development going forward.
Indeed.
It's not just a matter of us having opinions. It's about how do we convert these opinions into substantial benefits to the society.
Indeed.
And that is the level we want to get to. And these opinions can be shaped if we are able to have quality opinions.
Quality opinions.
And where do quality opinions come from? Quality opinions will come from people who are well educated. And that's why I advocate for free education.
Indeed.
Anybody who is educated, when they make a point, as much as probably we could be having a little jokers here and there, but most of them, they make points or they make their arguments based on some facts.
Indeed.
So you'll find that these people, they actually give you better opinions.
Right.
And then we have people who are naturally intelligent, naturally wise. So also let us listen to these people so that at the end of the day, we are only getting quality opinions, which we can implement.
Thank you so much. Briefly, please, what is the future looking like on opinions?
We are still far much behind as a nation and the world as a whole. And mine is very simple. I'd wish to, make it out to the public. It is high time we give our citizens, because this is something that affects us as a nation, nationwide. And there's no need to be over-aggressive to your citizens. There's no need to be militant. There's no need to act as a dictator or a demagogue whenever your opinions we are giving out. Indeed. We are saying as students that we need our help to be not to be scrapped off. Mtuongezee help badala ya kuikata. We need the citizens and the comrades countrywide to get their rights. Now when we are speaking out in such cases, utasikia some people will try and threaten you in a way. Now it is high time as a nation, let us be an open nation that listens to its citizens without being over aggressive to them, without being militant, without acting like dictators, without being demagogues to them. And we, for me, I always like telling them that I like sending stern warning to whoever is trying to, you know, frustrate or to intimidate someone giving out their opinions. Let them listen to their citizens so that we better our governance. But it stands, we are still far when it comes to matters opinion.
Thank you so much, General Vini. Thank you so much, Ann Kitalesi. Without forgetting, there is a book here that is called The Unpopular Opinion. Of course, the non-reformist approach to the sustainability reform agenda, with a bias for access to education, decent work, socio-economic justice, and moral values, written by Ann Kitalesi. And of course, it's it's nice to have it here, you know, to understand the basis on the unpopular opinion and the popular opinion as well, as we have just have it right here on the Morning Drift. Depths of opinion. We have concluded the conversation. Thank you so much for coming once more, and I believe you've noted some few things or details that you have. Remember, your opinion matters, either the popular or the unpopular. See you next time when we are having this kind of conversation, of course, to have just intelligent in the society and the community at large. See you tomorrow. We'll be having Entertainment Friday, and of course we'll ship the Morning Drift as the Morning Drift. Remember, this is starting from 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. rather to 10 a.m. Thank you so much. See you next time. My name is Moses Okech, and this is the Morning Drift.